Here we have our maximum Cronus time and tide clock. The Cronus time and tide clock is preset at the factory for date and time. The time, date, and tide time can be set using only the switch on the bottom of the instrument. However, there is a set all switch on the back of the instrument for additional fine-tune adjustments. Once you press and release the set all switch, the Cronus will display the year. You'll want to toggle through to correct any readings using the switch at the bottom of the case. Pushing the switch to the right, also called the select position, will select the next number that you'd like to change. Pushing the switch left to the set position will change the selected number. Once you're finished with the year, keep toggling the switch to the right until none of the numbers are flashing. Push the switch to the left to go to the next function. After the year, the next function is the date. Set the date by again toggling the switch to the right to highlight each number, and toggling the switch to the left to change the value of the currently selected number. The next function is the daylight savings function time. UDS is labeled on the display. A 1 indicates that you want the daylight savings time turned on. If you do not want the daylight savings function turned on, toggle the switch to set to the 0 position, and that will disable the daylight savings function built into the clock. Again, once the digit stops flashing, you can advance by toggling the switch to the set position. The next position is the AM/PM function of the Cronus tide clock. At the factory, the clocks are set on the AM/PM function. If you want to display the 24-hour function on the Cronus clock, toggle the switch to set, and it'll display the 24 for the 24-hour function. Toggle the switch to select. Once the AM/PM light stops flashing, advance by toggling to set. The next setting will be the local time. To change the time, toggle the switch to set to change each digit. Toggle the switch to select the next digit to change. To advance to the next setting, toggle over to select until the last digit stops flashing. Toggle to set, and you'll see that the high tide light will be flashing, so you can start setting the local tide. To change to the next tide event from high to low, toggle to set, and that will change over to the low setting. To advance, toggle the switch to select, and the hours digit will flash. To set the time of the tide event, toggle the switch to set until you reach the desired hour. Toggle to select to advance to the minutes tens digit. Toggle the switch to set to choose the right number. Toggle to select to advance to the minutes ones digit. And toggle the switch to set to choose the right number. Toggle to select again, and the digit will stop flashing. Toggle to set to advance to the final function of the Cronus, which is the brightness. To change the brightness, I'm going to use the Set All button. By pressing the button, you change from the brightest setting, which is B16 for 16, to B01. Every time you press the switch, the intensity of the LED increases. This is useful to match all of the digital instruments on your display. All Cronus clocks and all Merlin, Mystic, Mysteer, and Rainwatch instruments are preset at the factory at the brightest setting, which is B16. To advance to the normal clock function, toggle the switch to select. The Cronus will do a startup self-test where all the LEDs will function and the present time and tide will be displayed. The instrument is now ready to be mounted. All the functions you've just changed get stored into non-volatile memory. So you may remove power to proceed to the installation. Once power is once again applied, all of the settings will remain intact. This concludes our Cronus setup instruction.